Future Learn and Royal Holloway University present
Inclusive Theatres, Describing Diversity.
I'm Hannah Thompson from Royal Holloway. I'm a white woman in my late 40s. I'm wearing a black dress and I'm carrying a white cane.
On stage at the Globe, a diverse group of blind people explore props and costumes with their hands. Later, they collect audio description headsets. We've made this video to explain how audio description makes theatre accessible to blind people, what theatres can do to help audio describers, and why getting involved in audio description can help theatres lead the way in equality, diversity and inclusion.
Hi, I'm Joanna Wood and I'm the chair of Vocalise. I'm a white woman in her mid-30s. Audio description is a verbal description of the visual content that's going on that non-blind viewers would be able to experience. So that can be anything from who's come on stage or who's come on the TV in a scene to what somebody's doing, so visual humour, physical comedy, or who's just scored that goal. My first experience of AD was in April of 2017. This was a year after I'd significantly lost my sight. It was a completely transformative experience. Audio description means everything to me. It's the access to arts and culture and the lift and the inspiration that they give you. And it's the chance to do those with family and friends.
Hello, my name is Ros Chalmers. I'm an audio describer and an audio description trainer. I'm a white woman in my 60s with white curly hair. The way audio description works in theatre is that there are three main components. There is an audio introduction, which people get before the show. There is a touch tour, which happens just prior to the show. And then there is the through description, the audio description that the audience will hear during the show. We might describe a fight. We would describe a dance scene. We would perhaps describe a change in scenery as you move from an inside space to an outside space. So there are very many places where we try to get that information in. So the first thing in the audio introduction is we will give a description of the set, the characters, the costumes they're wearing, and the props perhaps that they're using. We have contact now with the company, with the actors, and we ask them how they would like to be described. And we take that into account when we are writing a description of the characters and the costumes.
A touch tour for A Midsummer Night's Dream takes place at Shakespeare's Globe. Blind audience members explore the colourful props on stage at the Globe. Later they collect their headsets, ready to listen to the audio introduction and a through description. An audio describer, Willie Elliott, sits at a desk wearing a headset and microphone, ready for a performance. A monitor on the desk shows a bird's eye view of the stage at Shakespeare's Globe. An iPad is in front of the monitor, text showing. He reads,
A Midsummer Night's Dream is set in a fairy tale time with costumes and design of neon bright colours. There's a visual theme of the Mexican piñata, the colourful paper toy filled with sweets that's often the focus of children's parties. A piñata shaped like a donkey dangles from an orange cord about 2 metres above the stage. It's covered in frills of paper, coloured in alternating stripes of pink, stinging yellow, brilliant blue and green, with paper ribbons flowing from its ears and tail.
Hello, I'm David Bellwood. I'm the Access Manager at Shakespeare's Globe. I'm a 5'5" white man in my late 30s with grey hair, a grey beard and grey-blue eyes. Audio description helps us diversify our audiences and by extension actually our workforce because it opens the opportunity to experience Shakespeare's plays to a wider group of people.
Hi, I'm Canary Patel. I'm a 28-year-old accountant. I am African, Indian, British, quite multicultural, come from different heritages. I found that, knowing the ethnicity of an actor, it just helped me build a better picture of the actor and then the character itself. Having that description just gives you a better, you feel like it's a more level playing field.
Hello, my name is Maria Oshodi. I am a middle-aged biracial woman, mixed African, black and English white heritage. I have mid-brown skin, dark brown, curly, kind of frizzy shoulder length hair, grey headband, and I'm visually impaired, so I don't have direct eye contact. I am the CEO and Artistic Director of Extant, and Extant is the UK's leading performing arts company of visually impaired artists. So my experience of diversity in description is that on the whole, up to now, it has been quite patchy. I think that describers describing for television or theatre can be a bit mealy-mouthed about the way that they describe the full characteristics of actors that aren't necessarily from kind of conventional kind of backgrounds. I think this particularly in the case of ethnicity. So it really matters to me, both professionally and personally, because you know, on a personal level anyway, I mean, as a biracial woman, I really want to know how the world is being reflected around me. I want to know how that's being represented on stage and on screen.
My name is Tigger Blaze. My pronouns are he and him, although I feel that those pronouns don't quite fit how I identify, but out of the options that are currently available, that's the one I'm going to pick. I am 5'1". I am slight on the top half of my body and more muscular on the bottom half of my body. My skin is white and fairly pale. My hair is auburn and very short, and I've got a kind of quiffy bit on my fringe. I'm an actor. I work in theatre, TV, film and audio. I think gender's always been important, but I think it's something that's become a subject or an issue that is heightened at the moment because more people are speaking out and telling us about their gender and letting us know how they feel and how they don't actually maybe identify with male or female, and that they're somewhere on that spectrum between the two binary genders. I would say to audio describers, be brave and ask actors those questions about pronouns and gender identity of their character and how they can best serve the story by describing characters in wonderful, colourful detail.
My name's Samuel Bruhl, my pronouns are he, him. I'm a 6'1" white man with shaved head, ginger beard and a very pale complexion, and I'm an actor and a theatre maker who is partially sighted or partially blind. By being able to audio describe it for other audience members, you're opening up a whole bunch of sensory exploration for you. It's narrowing down aspects of your character that maybe you haven't realised before. And it's also just another way for audience members to be able to see the work that you've done. And I just think that's really, really important to be able to share what you've done with as many audience members as possible.
My name's Coco Brown. My pronouns are she, her. I am a light-skinned, half white, half black mixed race woman. I am rather tall and I have blonde hair that is swooped back into a short curly style, and I am an artist, audio describer and producer. I actually love describing diversity. It really excites me. It is showing how the times are changing, and I get to say that. I have to pick the most relevant piece of information, and then on top of that I have to then describe it in a way that is accessible to people who may not understand that very specific culture or very specific something. And you know, all of those things are like equal parts really exciting for me and also really difficult. And that works in all dimensions, I guess, of diversity. Is like, just because I don't know what type of head wrap this Indian performer is wearing, it doesn't mean that I shouldn't know and I shouldn't be specific about that because it might matter to somebody else. You know, in this, because it's representation really, and it's in quite a clear, clean form.
So what can theatre and audio describers do to help create inclusive audio description? David Bellwood.
So it's important for us to diversify the pool of audio describers we can use to describe our plays in order that we have the widest opportunity to use the vocabulary and lived experience which reflects what's happening on stage. We've come to a point in theatre history where access can no longer be seen as an add-on or an addendum to a production. And the best way that a theatre can support very good audio description and audio description that will actually serve the requirements of the visually impaired audience is if they include it from the beginning of the production and in their content planning from the very start.
Samuel Brewer.
And of course you're busy in the rehearsal process, of course you're doing so many things at once, but it's really important that you make time just to speak to the audio describer, just consult with them about the character that you are and what you want that character to be represented as to the people the audio describer is describing to.
Maria Ashodi.
One piece of advice that I've got for audio describers is just to be accurate about what you see and don't be shy. Give me the information that everybody else has, because that's really going to affect my understanding of the world out there.
David Bellwood.
Access isn't one person's responsibility, it's everyone's. And it's also not an act of charity, it's simple equality and equity. It's making the world slightly fairer for everyone one step at a time, and that can only be done if society works together to make it happen.
Please visit the Vocalise website, www.vocalise.co.uk. Vocalise is spelled VOCALEYES. On this website you can learn more about audio description, describing diversity, and our recommendations for creating inclusive audio descriptions. You can also join our Future Learn course, Creating Audio Description, Equality, Diversity and Inclusion. Find this through futurelearn.com.
Royal Holloway University, supported by the Arts and Humanities Research Council and Vocalise.